Hey guys, Greg with the G. Bacher Adventure Chronicles. I'm going on a winter camp out this weekend, and it's going to be cold and quite a bit of snow, and I got to take a lot of equipment out there. So instead of trying to pack it all in and 2-3 loads or whatever, I thought I would build a Pulk sled. Please stay tuned. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this idea because it's really not my idea. I was searching YouTubes and I ran across several different ways of building a Pulk sled. So I'm just going to use one of those. So anyways, let me show you the hardware and we'll get started building this thing. Okay, here we go. This is the hardware that I bought. I just went to Home Depot and got all this stuff. And let me show it to you right now. And it's right down here. Basically, all you need to build this project is, obviously I'm going to need my screw gun, I'm going to need a 1/4-inch drill bit and a 3/16 drill bit, some rollers or casters that I'm actually going to take these wheels off to use as hardware to put on the corners of the sled there. I'll need some PVC plastic caps right there, and then you got spring clips to kind of hold everything to the sleigh. Then I have a couple carabiners that I'm going to want to put on a belt or my backpack, however I decide to do that, so that I can actually tow it with me. Plus I'm going to need 8 1/4-inch by 3/4-inch bolts, as well as 12 nylon lock nuts and 4 different eye hooks. And again, these are 1/4-inch eye hooks. And you can get by with a little bit shorter ones, but this is all I could find, so that's okay. It's not going to make any difference. Then we need some wing nuts, which these are actually number 10 wing nuts, along with 6 number 10 bolts. Then a mess of just flat washers, some paracord to make tie-down holders for the sled, and some PVC cement so that I can attach, or so I can glue these caps onto the PVC pipe. I actually bought 2 10-footers. I'll just kind of set them out here a minute. I'm actually going to cut down to be 6 to 7 feet. Also, I'm going to need to have some angle iron right here, which is basically aluminum angle iron. I'm going to put runners in the back in here, in this area here. So anyways, let's get started in putting this Pulk sled together. First off, I need to take these dolly wheels apart. So unbolt that, take the ball out of there, set that right there. So let's drill some holes. Okay. Again, it's not really rocket science, but you know what? If this helps take a big load out into the field, that'll be very, very much appreciated. So get all these holes drilled out here, and we'll be ready to move on. Oops, one more over here too. Okay, now that we get all the holes all drilled, it's time to add the brackets. And as you can see, the wheels are off. So let's get those lined up, put the bolts in. Sometimes you have to ream them out. They're not quite exactly the same. There she goes. And then lock washers and a regular washer, which I will screw onto there. Get started. Okay, then once I got the bolts in there and got the nut started, then you basically just have to tighten them up. And I got my 7/16 1/4-inch drive socket. and then a 7/16 wrench. And put it on there, and then tighten it up. Being that they're the nylon lock washers, once they're snug down, they aren't going to go anywhere, so it'll hold in place. So I'm going to finish this, and I'll put the other bracket on, and I'll get right back with you. And we should be good to go. Now I need to cut the pipe. That's going to be the hitch part to size. Okay, as you can see, I've got my two 10-foot lengths here, and I'm going to make my poles roughly 6.5 feet long. So, got 6 feet here, so let's put them right together there, 6'6". Mark it right there, and that should give me plenty of distance so the sled doesn't come sliding up and hitting me in the ankles or anything like that. Okay, now that I got the poles cut to length, 6'6", it's time to assemble the caps that go on each end. And to hook everything all together, that's where we use the eye bolts. And they'll just go in there, and I'll just thread a nut on. But first off, what I want to do, these eye bolts came with nuts that I want to put on so I can kind of adjust the length. So I'm going to put those on first, all the way to the end. And I'm going to do this to all 4 of them. So it'll be 4, 1 on each end. And then basically run it through the pipe fitting, like so. And put a washer on there. And again, I'm going to use the nylon nuts because that kind of locks everything all into place. So I get that started. My trusty ratchet. And let's start tightening it up. And this will make it a little easier if I use my pliers here to kind of hold it like so. And just tighten them all up. That one's snug. Got the nut on there. Slide it through. Put a washer on there. And a lock nut. Get it started. Hold it with the pliers and tighten that one up. And I'm going to do this to all 4 end pieces that I have. So once I have these all tightened up, I'll get back with you. Now that I've got all 4 of them done, it's time to attach them to my poles. And the important thing about this, I want to dry fit it first, is you want to put them on and you want to glue them on there. But what you want to do is make sure that the eye bolts on both ends are facing the same direction. So you want that up, and you want to make sure this is facing that same direction when you do put them all in there, because that's kind of the key to having everything all hook up correctly. So yeah, put it on both ends so that they're all lined up, just like so. Okay, now I dry fit them. They did fit very well, so now it's time to glue them on. And being this is PVC pipe, you got to use PVC cement. So take that dauber and put a little glue on the inside of that, and also on the end of the pipe, like so. Okay, and then slide that on there all the way to the bottom. Make sure it's seated. Perfect. And do the same thing to the other side. Get the glue. And I'll glue up this pipe right here. Put a little glue on the end. There we go. Like so. Put the nipple on the end. And again, like I say, make sure you line it up so everything is perpendicular. at both ends. There we go. So now both ends are the same direction. I'm going to do the same to the other pole, glue it together, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, got them all on and everything. And basically what I'm going to do here now is these are going to be hooked through there, and that's where these pins come in handy. Right there. You just pop that pin loose like that. You run it through the two holes and on the eye bolt right there. And the same thing on this side. To the bracket, eye bolt into there, pin on. And we basically now have secured the poles to the sled. So the idea when you want to use it, you want to cross these so they're on their hips. And what that does is it kind of helps give a little control. So it actually helps kind of turn it as you go. But that's basically the gist of a Pulk sled. Okay, here's my angle pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off to like 6 inches long each. So I think it's all really need is about a 6-inch runner. So I'll make 2 of them. One for the right side of the sled and one for the left side toward the back. Tape measure about 6 inches down. I think 6 inches for the runners will be plenty. Get my Sharpie here. Mark that off at 6 inches. And what I'm going to do to make these runners work better, I'm actually going to take my 45 square and I'm going to put a 45-degree angle on there. And that'll help it so if you come across a log or whatever, it won't get hooked up on it. So I'm just going to cut the angle right here. So you'll see there'll be an angle right there. Be the angle on there. And then this will be cut straight across right here. So line that up. Mark it. Mark it right there. Go to my vise, get my hacksaw, cut it off that way, and then I'm going to cut it off on the angle. So it gets the angle for the runners. Okay, I got the little bracketries done. They're 6 inches long. And again, I put a 45-degree angle on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the holes where I want these to ride with my Sharpie. Right there. Right there. And then the same. And I'm making sure that that edge that's tapered is facing toward the front of the sled. There, there, and there. Then what I'm going to do is, again, using this as a guide, is I'm going to line that hole up, drill the hole. Okay, good. Put the screw in there, kind of hold it in place, and then do the same thing on this side. Back to the hole. Put a screw in there to hold it in place, and then drill the center. There we go. Put the screw in there. Okay, and then I'm going to use the wing nuts on the top side. So let's do the same thing over here. Okay. Whole screw in there, hold it snug, drill the hole, put the number 10 screw in there, and do the same thing right here in the middle. Okay, and then put the last screw in there. Okay, then the runners are all installed onto there. And the thing of it is too, is I can actually take the runners off if I'm not going to be in a hilly area. and not even using. This is mostly if you're going to be going like sides of hills and stuff like that to help keep the sled tracking smoothly. So what I want to do now is I want to flip this whole thing over. Hopefully these don't fall out. So I'm going to flip my sled over. Very good. And you can see where the screws are coming up. I'll hold it up to the top one there. You can see the screws there are coming through. And what I want to do now, again, is take my wing nuts and just screw the wing nuts onto those screws. And that'll hold everything in place so the runners don't fall off. Sled goes up. There we go. 3 more to put on. Sometimes you got to hold the screw up to get the wing nut on it. So snap everything all up. There you go. Hold the screw in, tighten the wing nut up. Okay, now, last but not least, what I need to do is I want to put some paracord coming up through here with little loops on it, so I can take bungee cords or whatever and you know, go ahead and strap everything down so it doesn't fall out. Now I've already pre-drilled all the holes. They're 1/4-inch holes all the way around the whole perimeter of the sled. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paracord that I've bought and I'm going to just kind of loop it around here to kind of get an idea of how long I need. I want to kind of loop around the whole perimeter and then come up inside of those holes and just make small loops. So I'm thinking if I go all the way around the whole perimeter like that once, then maybe that much right there, all the way back down to here, that should make it long enough. I just got to cut it. There we go. And I want to burn the ends. I don't have a lighter on me, so I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way and use matches. I want to burn that into that paracord. There we go, so it doesn't fray off. Okay, now I gotta loop it. And undo it from here. I think I'm going to start probably right here in the front. Get that paracord up through there. There you go. I'm just going to tie a little loop on it. Like so. There we go. And pull that down through like that. That'll give me a nice little loop. And kind of work it around and work it up inside these holes here. See if I can get on it. And work it up like that. And then again, I do want to make that quite snug there. Cut it off. Kind of tight to that. I know that kind of holds that there. So I've got a loop there. Move it on down to the next one. Work it up through the hole. There we go. And again, same thing, I want to snug that up. Tie another knot right there. Next one. Snug that up there. Another little loop right here. Okay, here I got them all looped through there. I started here, just did an overhand knot. Made some loops all the way around, and then I can just, like I say, attach bungee cords. What I did on the very end was I just basically ran it up through. See if I can get it here where you can see it. I basically ran it up through here, just cut it off, and then burnt the end on it so that it doesn't go anywhere. Right there. Yeah, now I can just hook some bungee cords or netting or whatever, put all my stuff in there, and I can just attach it so stuff doesn't fall out. Okay, well that about does it for the actual construction of the Pulk sled. So let me put it together and kind of give you an overview. Pretty much what you're going to want to do, you're going to take your two poles, you want to get the pins, your clips right here, and where the eye bolts are attached here, you want to put the pin through, like so. Do the same on the other side. Slide it over, put the pin through, the eye bolt, like that. And what I did was I took some Velcro right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. I took some Velcro, just wrapped around the pipe, because the idea is you want these poles to cross, that gives you stability. Okay, I'll just give you a little close-up of it. Right here it is. See the yokes right here, the carabiners. That I will hook to my belt or to my backpack, whatever. The bars cross. Got a lot of movement on there. I have to lay it down on the ground here so you can look at a view of it. Lay it down. There you go. That's my Pulk sled right there. And this just swings up, goes on over, and it's like a big hitch, basically. Pretty slick. I'm looking forward to using it. See ya. Bye.